Director of European Entrepreneurs, CEA-PME, the Confederation of Voluntarily Organized Small Medium-Sized Enterprises in Europe. We are the project leaders of the project DataSkills4SMEs. Today we have the webinar on how to reach new customers online in the framework of our orientation course for which best training you would need if you want to develop your online sales and digital marketing. I welcome you very much today for this webinar. I would like to ask you, we are in a webinar setting, that you switch off your microphones. For the moment, we will have then at the end of the session a Q&A, a questions and answer session. So you can then raise your hands. There is the button for raising hands, and then we will be able to answer your questions. I welcome also here today as our expert speaker, Mr. Huvan. He's the expert that helped us to develop, let's say, the mind map and the approach to the orientation course of online sales and digital marketing. And he was quite helpful also to help our confederations in Italy, Germany, and Austria, the SME organizations, Confapi in Italy, BMW in Germany, and ÖGV in Austria, to orientate and to select the right resources for online training for the two issues, online sales, digital marketing, which we have made available on our project website or through our project website, www.DataSkills4SMEs.eu. You see the link below in the screen in front of you. And on that screen, you should, first of all, use an orientation tool, which is a very short kind of survey. You click through multiple choice, and you get an answer at the end in which direction you should go regarding the training that you could need, that you would maybe need as priority. Why did we do this project, European Entrepreneurs as a European Confederation of SME Associations? Would you please switch off your microphones? Later on, we do the question and answers. We did this project because our confederation understood during the last year's pandemic lockdown and severe limits to economic activity of our member companies, that this brought a very fast acceleration in digital transformation, and it required many of our members to go online with their sales and digital marketing. For that, also, I would like to ask now my colleague Lorenzo Marchese to show shortly the video, which gives us mainly the framing of the reasons. Thank you very much.
Sales, especially in these times of pandemics, are moving more and more to online channels. But where should you start if you want to improve your digital presence? With this online sales orientation tool by DataSkills4SMEs, you will find many ways to learn digital skills and scale your business. You will be inspired by communicating with other SMEs and experts that share your needs and have solutions for you. 3 reasons why this online sales orientation tool will save you time. And besides that, it's free. The first reason, there is a lot of information out there, which can be confusing. You need the appropriate platform to guide you with where you need to start. With this priority setting in mind, we will outline the most relevant topics for you. The second reason, hundreds of SMEs throughout Europe confirmed through a survey done by DataSkills4SMEs that digitalizing their business isn't just an option anymore, but a must. The pandemic affected every aspect of life and work. As a result, digital transformation is accelerating and here to stay. We see 2 years of digital changes in 2 months. So start investing in increasing your digital knowledge now. The third reason. Until today, you have inspired and motivated your customers and employers through your in-person interactions as sales manager or entrepreneur. But how do you maintain this success also online? With the online sales orientation tool, you will find advice about techniques on how to convey your trust through your online B2B or B2C sales interactions with prospects and customers. These are a few reasons why this tool will help improve your digital presence in the most cost-effective way. To have access to the DataSkills online sales orientation tool and its training resources, please visit the link.
Yeah, thank you, Lorenzo, for this introductory video, which is also the one that we use on our social media channels and websites to promote the orientation tool on online sales. Of course, this is also available subtitled and voice-overed in German and Italian. And we will do next week also together with Huvan another version of this webinar in French. Once you have used the orientation tool online to find the right training resources that you would need as priority, you can then sign up to our platform where we have collected all these online training resources on a Moodle support. Moodle is the, let's say, online e-learning platform for the universities, worldwide known and used as one of the best information and training e-learning resource platforms that is available. We have there our own DataSkills4SMEs channel, and we will also develop this orientation not only in the field of online sales and digital marketing, but also towards cybersecurity, data protection, customer relationship management, cloud computing, and paperless office. But this is still to come next year. In spring, most probably, we will come out with the new courses. In the meanwhile, those you are here because you are interested in learning more on how to reach out to your customers. And that's why I hand over now to my colleague and expert, Huvan. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Stefan. I'll just share my screen. Can everyone see my screen? Present. There we are. So first of all, welcome to today's presentation. I just would like to add the chat. One moment. I would like to see the chat too, because that's important when I go through the presentation. But maybe before presenting myself, it's always interesting to know who's in the call of today. So I will ask Lorenzo to bring up a small survey, and I really encourage everyone to respond to this survey, because this presentation makes it more lively, provides more content if everyone really participates. So with this, I have a first survey, which I would like everyone to respond to and say, you know, who are you? And like that, I have also a better understanding of who's joining this webinar. Can you maybe, Lorenzo, bring up the survey or the poll?
I brought it up, and I see people are already answering. We have already 6 out of 23 answers. So I invite people to still to answer the question. 7, they're going up. We can keep it for the next minute still.
Okay.
We still miss a few. We still have a piece of your answer, but if you want, we can show.
Yeah, already, if that would be great.
Okay. So here is your result. Can you see the results?
I should maybe stop sharing Paul's share. Yeah, I can see. Can everyone see the results?
Yes.
Yeah, great, perfect. So most people are in the B2B market, and there's a few people in the B2C market. So this is great input. And now I will go through the presentation that I have for you for today. I would like to be able to, do you see my presentation or not?
No.
No, okay.
I'll stop as we have seen the results of the survey, I'll stop the sharing.
Okay.
And now you should be able to share to show you, but yeah, perfect.
Perfect.
Now it works.
Great. And I would love to see the chat. There, I'll put the chat up here too. So first of all, my name is Huvan. I'm the principal of Guiding Progress. So we provide to small and medium-sized businesses, we help them to grow their business online. Personally, I've been in sales most of my life in small and medium-sized businesses, and my experience proves to be beneficial for my customers so that they are able to embrace change and move faster on this. So this will also help them with their sales, and at the end of the day, also be more successful. Now, as mentioned in this presentation, I really encourage that everyone provides a chat, because I will provide some input, but everybody can enrich this presentation by providing their input. So when I talk about web presence last year, is before the pandemic, how would we mostly do business? And certainly in the B2B market, our first approach would be mostly through an in-person interaction. So we would maybe reach out to prospects and customers through email and phone or Zoom, but we would keep it brief, and we would certainly try and encourage having an in-person meeting. That was clearly my case, when I was working for Oracle, IBM, or SaaS, or even after. My objective was clearly to try and have these on-site meetings, because there you really could feel the energy and have a better understanding of what the challenges within our prospects or our customers. But of course, with the pandemic, things have changed. First of all, in the beginning, in March 2020, we couldn't go and see our prospects and our customers, so we had to do it online. And if you were in a B2B market, how did this present itself? That most meetings were done through Zoom or Teams or other types of communication systems. And if you were in the B2C market, of course, you maybe had already an online presence. You wanted to improve that online presence through communicating with them even better online. Now, so where do you start? Where do you start with growing your business online? And before providing 3 strategic approaches to growing your business online, because that's clearly my objective of today, is I would like to share a survey, and it's a survey of McKinsey. McKinsey has been doing a survey since 2017 of, what is the percentage of, what is the percentage of people within your company that interact online with prospects and customers. And in 2017 and 2018, there was only 20% of the surveyed customers or surveyed companies that were interacting with their customers and prospects online. And of course, with the pandemic, that average share of customers interaction that happened digitally just has exploded. And globally, it went from 36% to 58%. In Asia, it was 53%, Europe 55%, and North America 65%. And this will not change, once we have that possibility to go and see our customers and our prospects, and we really love it. But I think most of us understand that things have changed and that we will not go back to the normal. So we really need to improve that approach of selling online, and I will get back to that. But before going into the presentation, I have a second poll, and I would like Lorenzo to bring up that second poll. I'm really curious to know, what's your average the percentage of interactions that you have with your customers online. I would love to have your input on that, and if Lorenzo could bring that up, that would be great. Do I need to stop sharing, Lorenzo?
No, it's up and people are responding. It's just if you share, you cannot see it, but everybody else is, they're responding.
It's a bit of a shame that I cannot see the poll when I'm sharing.
But you can stop sharing and you will see it. But you will not see the results until I share them.
Okay.
But we're still waiting for a few answers.
Okay. Yeah. Lorenzo, in place of stopping and sharing and non-sharing, can you maybe share the results personally and say, how have people responded to this poll?
Okay, so we can do that, and I don't share them. Yes, just give it a few more seconds. That.
Yep, great.
If a few more people want to apply. Okay. So let's. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So we have 6 out of 17 responses say they have below 20%, which is 35% of our respondents. 2 people out of 17 have between 20 and 40%. 3 out of 17 have between 51 and 65. And above 65%, it's for 6 out of 17. So it's either the absolute majority, like the 2 biggest chunk, with each representing 35% of our participants, is either below 20% or above 65. Okay, great. Thank you very much for participating, everyone, in the poll. So, what do we learn out of here? We had to adapt, and certain people have. And it depends also, of course, the business in which you're operating. So I'm not making any judgment, but it's really interesting to have that input. Now, as I said, in this presentation, I would like to share 3 strategic approaches how you could grow your business online. And I've classified them in an accelerate, and there I think about what you've been doing well, and how you could do it even better. So, for example, you have been successful in a specific industry, and you know what industry, who your target accounts are, and in which industry you have been selling the most, and could you eventually grow your solution in other industries, but staying within the same market, not necessarily going into another market. So you could use the same sales force or your same platform, but just in growing it. And I'll provide 3 ideas of what you could do in that area. Then growth is okay. Here you want to do something new. You want to go into a new market, or you want to grow your company. Is it through acquisition or is it through outsourcing? And then the third part is the fix it, and that's a bit of analyzing what has worked and what hasn't worked. And I'll provide 3 insights of what you could do in these three domains. So in the accelerating part is the branding, and I think in
in online sales, there's nothing more important, and offline sales, there's nothing more important than branding, because branding is how people see you, experience you, how they, it's the ability for yourself to show your authenticity on, in person, online and offline. I think it's really crucial. And in the accelerating part is mostly, if you're in an SME, who does the branding? It's usually the company owner and maybe the salespeople. But I truly believe that to be able to grow that even more, everyone within your organization could is your spokesman, because if they, if they are in line with your because branding, for me, what is branding? Branding is is your culture, it's your values, and how our priorities are set. Their priorities come really through your values. So it's making sure that the values of your employees and your values are aligned, so that they are proud to be able to represent your company. And we know that there is a true challenge with many organizations regarding engagement of the employees. So there's a good book out there that I would like to, I really loved it. It's from Cal Newport, and he says there's 3 things that really motivate employees. That is their autonomy, that is the impact that they have on their work, and communication. So I can only encourage you to make sure that the way you present yourself online, is it through LinkedIn, is it through your website, that your prospects and your customers are able to understand better who you are as a company. And if they are aligned, if your employees are aligned with your company values, that will also improve, of course, dramatically the experience that the customers and the prospects have with your company. The second thing, and here I would really love your input related towards communication, and I'll take the first one is Zoom. What are the things that you feel strange in a Zoom call? And I would really encourage everyone to respond to this, because if everyone responds, you will also have a better idea of what people don't like or bother within the call. So please try and give your thoughts on what you don't like in a Zoom call. So I don't know how many people are in the call, but please shoot out there. Because I can go through this presentation and do slide after slide, but if you don't participate in this call, I can only encourage everyone to participate, because that will make this presentation even stronger, even more powerful. Yeah, great. Thank you very much, Peter. So participants who switch off their camera, for sure, if you have the camera on, you know who you have in front of you. You can see him. There's more human interaction, indeed, when Sven. Thank you very much. No presentations of slides, or non-presentation of slide. So I don't know what you really mean by that. Is it using too much slides, or not using slides? I think what is happening in online communication is that the meetings are usually smaller or less long. Sorry, there's only 30 minutes in place of 1 hour. So you have to try and keep it as optimal as possible, not using slides at all. Okay. Any other thoughts? Any other thoughts? Yeah, well, I was in a call the other day, and a charming gentleman, but he had the window in the background. So what happened is there was too much sun coming from in front, and I couldn't see his face. So I couldn't see how he was. He had a great voice, but I couldn't see him. Good slides or picture dominate. Difficult to find a common ground. not paying attention. I agree with not finding a common ground. I think it's important when you interact through Zoom, it's making it at least an understanding of, have they understood what if you're selling online, do you understand what your prospect is saying? Can you repeat it? And I think that is really important. So what is also important when you do the online thing is send out an agenda to the participants and making sure you know who are the different people who are present. I think if you have a web shop, so if you're in a B2C market, you might have your website, and usually what in the most of the first level of web shops would say, okay, this is what I've got to offer, and it can be a service, and this is the price, and you can buy it. But ideally is also if the prospects have a customers, are they able to chat right away with the company? And it's not always easy, of course, in an SME, but if they had that flexibility to chat right away and saying, okay, I have this question, or that they can plan a call in to get a bit more information. Laura, one-to-one calls, you can feel the distance and don't really perceive the paraverbal and non-verbal language. Okay. It's true. It's that's my challenge. You know, I'm trying to get everyone engaged, because here what is interesting is, you know, I'm giving my thoughts, but everybody is providing their input. We also learn, you know, what things can be challenging. So it's also challenging for me to get everyone engaged. So I'm trying to do my best in that area. So what can you also do to accelerate your customers? It's all about the customer experience. And I would love, again, your input here. Just imagine you had a bad experience with a supplier. What would you do? If you ever had a bad experience with a supplier, what would you do? So what are your thoughts? I can share, of course, my thoughts, but here again, launch your ideas. If you have purchased something, is it a product or service? Is it online or offline? And it's a service and a product that you really need often. And let's say you're purchasing a product which you often need. Would you go to the same supplier? What would you think about the supplier? How would you promote the supplier? So what are your thoughts? Yeah, we'll look for a different supplier. Tell everyone not to use the supplier. I completely agree. So what is amazing is the cost of acquiring a customer is so expensive, and we all know it. You know, we all challenging to have that. And most SMEs do between 60 and 70. Let's say most companies, is it large companies or small companies, do 60 to 70% with existing customers. Just imagine you lose 5% of your, no, just imagine you can increase, you know, the satisfaction of a customer, they will purchase even more. Because usually when you buy with a supplier, you want to test them out. Right? Are they good? And if you have a great experience with them, you will buy even more. So it's really crucial that you do. And the other way around, if you have if you notice that a client hasn't been happy with your service, and often people do that through reviews on the web. They provide reviews, Google reviews. There might be other types of reviews, Facebook reviews, whatever reviews there are. I have seen so many companies not even respond to the negative reviews. To the positive reviews, it's of course important, but to the negative reviews is also crucial. So if you have a negative review, what do you do? Or what I would encourage you to do is to say, okay, thank you for your feedback. Can we maybe have a chat or see, you know, what can we do better? But at least get an understanding, you know, how can we fix the problem in the future? It's all about fixing it. It's not trying to find who's the fault at this, it's trying to fix the mistake. So one thing which is also with the upsell and cross-sell is, if you have an existing customer, if you are able to sell additional products, let's say you increase the business by 5%, that your profitability will increase by, I think there was a report, by 75%. If you are able to decrease the customer churn, so people leaving your company, you are able to, so if you decrease the customer churn with 5%, you're able to increase your profitability between 25% and 125%. So it's of course a big range, but nonetheless really important. Now, growth parts. So seek to invest to long-term here. So in the first part, when I was saying, was not really related to technology, and in the first part, in the accelerate part, it's more about the people and less about the technology. In the growth part, technology can play, of course, more and more important role. So here you would like to go into a different market. You would like to sell different products, additional products. So how do you address that? And it's really important that you try and have, you try and have a common understanding of, that as I said, everyone is aligned. So when you're growing as a company, what happens is usually we have the tendency of using the same tools. And sometimes that can be also challenging, is, what worked in the past, and if you really want to grow exponentially, it's also important to see that you have a good foundation that supports your growth. Is it with regard to technology, or is it regard to people? And you don't have to do everything yourself. Often we think we have to take someone on board, and and we know how difficult it is to take new employees on board, because they are team members. They need to, for them to be aligned with your priorities as a company, they need to also see that as a priority. Work is something, as I see, as a priority, and I really spend lots of time at work. So I really would love to work. So before outsourcing, I would first of all see, make sure that you can do it yourself. So don't outsource too quickly your sales or whatever it may be. Try and have an understanding of what works and what doesn't work. So somebody within your company has done it yourself or somebody within your company, because it goes through ups and downs, and we all know that an SME, it's not blue skies every day. It goes with ups and downs. We have our vision, we know what we want to achieve, that we know how that we, but sometimes the route to get there is different, and we have to adapt. So before outsourcing, I really encourage that you have found out those things first. When I talk about content marketing in the growth, it's providing value to your prospects and your customers. It's not selling your product. Of course, it has to be linked to your product and your services, but it's providing value, and it's usually free. So when you provide free value, and one thing I would in the past do quite often, and I should pick it up again, is I would send out LinkedIn posts regularly, and I haven't done it for quite a while. But what I do is every quarter I do send out a quarterly newsletter to prospects and to customers. So what do I provide in that content marketing is things that I have learned. How's the business going? But the business also has, of course, an impact also maybe on themselves. So that's really something which I believe is important in the growth part, is getting customers from different industries. You might be strong in one specific industry, but you want to grow in a different industry or a different country. Any thoughts are welcome with regard to growth. When we talk about growth online, it's simplify the transactions. Okay, this could be in the acceleration part. Certainly, if you're in the B2C market, you have done it. You know how to do it. It's if you do it online, and even if you're in a B2B market, initially when before 2020, before Corona, what was our website? Our website was there, and after a meeting, if we had a meeting, that people could go and see, it's a sort of vitrine of who we are. It's a sort of LinkedIn profile and so on. But we need to do more, if we want to sell online, we need to facilitate setting meetings with us. So for example, if they like our website, that they can eventually set a meeting right away with yourself. So that's quite easy. There's some free tools out there to set meetings with you right away. Another way to do it is just trying to simplify and also one thing which is really important in the growth part is try and encourage everyone to provide reviews, because if they provide reviews, that will create more visibility for yourself out there. And in the growth part, it's always create a sense of urgency. We all know that when we have prospects, we want to create that sense of urgency. It's not always easy. I think what is more important is really understanding what their challenge is, providing them some thoughts, so learning them something new, and then also potentially telling them what's happening within other companies that are similar to them, so that you provide them also some learning in that area and so on. Now, in the fixed part, it's about slow down and check what worked and what did not work. And here I got 3 thoughts with regard to this. It's I think poor customer service is, for me, the biggest thing that will limit your growth in a company as SME. So I would really put lots of emphasis on improving customer service. And maybe everyone around the table has great customer service, but it's not only having a survey, it's also going to talk to them, say, and have with your biggest customers, certainly if you have 20% of your customers that are doing 80% of your turnover, it's at least regularly talking to them, and having an open discussion, what do you like about us? Like that, why they're staying with you, because you have competitors. So at least why people are staying with you. And what are the things in which we could improve, like that. You also have their feedback. What are the areas in which you can improve? But we always, in an SME, what's the biggest challenge is we always have too limited resources, too limited time, and so on. But if we concentrate on our customers, on our prospects, if they are central, and of course our employees, our team members, our partners are also for sure important. For me, it's not only about customers, it's about, as I mentioned, if your employees are not aligned with your customer value, with your company values, it's going to be very difficult. It's understanding data. And what I would like to say here, it's not, we all know that what is the value of your company? It's your human capital, so the people who work for you. It's your intellectual capital. It's your know-how. It's your expertise. Is it in service or in a product? But it's also understanding what is happening and having a good understanding of that. And I cannot emphasize as much that there's really lots of I've sold analytical products and I see how many companies are really also struggling with understanding, what prospects and customers are doing. And you don't have to do everything. You can limit to a few KPIs first and say, okay, I would like to know, and that's the basic, I would like to know who are my 20, who are my customers who are generating the most of our revenue. You probably have that information. what industry, you know, and you know, what are the products that work best online or offline. And then the last point that I would like to say in the fix it is update your online business plan and your business plan in general. Is, you know, saying, okay, where can we accelerate? What can we do next year to accelerate? What can we do to grow? And where's the fixing part? So it's a full circle with regard to your business plan, and it's online and offline. So you know, I can talk. We can talk more on. I wanted to make it really as much. I wanted to make this presentation so, you know, that it provides you input, so you know, to grow your business online. So finally, you know, I would really encourage you around the table, or your team members, or everybody around in your ecosystem who's an SME, to follow this online sales orientation course that Stefan was talking about. It's free. It provides, I believe, some interesting information. Of course, there's information which is great, and there's some with information which is probably you might know already. But at least it's a platform that is there for you. It's free. If it grows, there's a community which will come out of it, so that we can share information between different SMEs. And there's also some experts out there if you need some, you know, some point help in a specific area. So I don't know, Stefan, if you want to, do I go through the slides, you know, through the website? What would you like to do?
I would just let you know, maybe.
Sorry, line. So as Stefan was saying, there's here a few questions.
Exactly. I would say let's simply show here the website and
Okay.
the orientation tool, that then the users can, the participants can do this on their own. It's very simple internet address. So DataSkills4SMEs.eu, the 4 is a number, / online sales in English, or online handel in German, and vendita online in Italian. But you can choose also the language on this on the website. What is important, maybe it is now 11:45. Maybe we leave also a little bit the chance to the people to ask questions and suggestions, which we could discuss if you agree.
I completely agree, Stefan.
Yeah.
So are there any questions out there? Thoughts, ideas that you would like to share? You know, that would be great if I could have your input with regard to that.
There was a question from the representative of Zolfuchs, but I think she left. Okay. And she wanted to know if you see a difference between companies selling goods versus companies selling consultancies, whether your advice is changed.
Goods and
services and consultancies. Sorry.
And consult. Yeah. Is there a difference between selling goods and services? I think through selling online, if you're selling goods, of course, you are able to. Services is usually it depends what type of services. If you're a plumber, you're providing services, and it's really there to provide. You know, we order a plumber because we have an issue with our plumbing and so on. If we need an electrician, it's a service, and we know so that sales can happen also online. You know, you could facilitate a meeting right away online. I need an electrician. I go to I Google. If I don't know an electrician, I go to his website. If I had that possibility to set a meeting right away, I'll take him, certainly if he's got great reviews. And it's the same with products. In the services, what can happen is, of course, that the service is less specific, so it can be more custom. So there, it's really important to have that interaction with the prospect. I hope that was useful information. Any other thoughts? I would love to have any other, if there are any other additional questions out there.
Well, for me, hi, it's Achim from Frankfurt. For me, there's always one big question is digital upskilling of the people. We can train managers and we can train all sorts of leaders in the company, but at the very end, if the people are not upskilled in order to use the electronic tools and the digital tools, especially as well in sales. Put it as a simple example, how do I acquire new prospects through social media? Very simple. Instead of making cold calls, like 10 cold calls and just got one customer on the line. All this sort of thing. And the question for me is more, I'm coming out of e-learning, of digital learning. So it's not, and I know Lorenzo and I know a couple of your guys. The thing that's always thrills me is how do I upskill my people in the company? Because at the very end, the people are the company.
Sure.
Yeah. And that's one of the from my perspective, personal perspective, it's one of the major tasks in the next 10 to 15 years.
Mm-hmm. And do you have a solution, Achim, how to upskill? Or is you're asking for some thoughts? What have you done already?
It's not a one-fit-all solution. It's not like a piece of clothes that is one measure for everybody. It depends on how. Well, first of all, leaders and the company owners and whoever is in the top management of the company needs to be engaged. If those leaders do not lead by example, the people won't follow.
I agree.
So just like when I introduce e-learning platforms to companies, is always like, yeah, this tool is for our people, not for the management. And my response then always is, then just save your money, because the people won't follow. They won't use the tool if the leaders don't lead by example.
Yeah, I completely agree.
It's the same for upskilling. If the leaders do not really commence to use digital tools or digital means in order to improve their business, whether it's on the revenue side in terms of selling or whether it's on the cost side in terms of processes, then the people they don't know what to do.
I agree. But that's challenge is how do you find prospects? And I think that the biggest thing that we can only sell to people who are aligned with our values and what we want, what we're trying to position. And Achim, thank you very much for your input. I really love, getting your input on that. And one thing that can maybe help is if you're on LinkedIn, if you see some people who are posting or are active and who have things or are the same as there are potentially people with whom you could maybe interact and you could maybe connect. And if in your company that not everyone has you even with the free version of LinkedIn, you could say, this is what I loved about your post, because I feel we are aligned in this area. By the way, this is what we provide as a service, and would you like to connect? And usually 80%, 85% of the people with whom I ask this accept the connection. The biggest challenge then is how do you follow up? And I think the following up is first of all is how did you find me, or how did you of course if you send out an invite, it's the other way around. But sometimes if you do some posting, if you do a post on LinkedIn, it's always interesting to know how did they find you. And what was that thing that really what was that one message in your post that really triggered their thoughts? But thank you, Achim, for your input. Any other? I'm having a comment.
Yeah, there is a question from Abu Bakar Danladi Nasidi, which is asking, he's having a company that is coming up soon on board, and they want to start exporting commodities across African countries. So not a easy thing as a commodity selling company. What could be the best tool to utilize as a business? Should it be online shop or what else? Yeah, online shop, maybe different. No, here you need a commercial sales representative, but this is kind of trying to do exactly what you explained before, trying to get a personal, reliable relationship online as much as possible, thanks to video meetings and accompanying measures. Maybe you can just explain that a bit.
I don't have any magic answer to that, you know, it's commodity, but I don't know what type of commodities they you know.
Yeah, can be agricultural or mining products, but the point is not that. I mean, it will be most probably huge amount of big quantities, but the point is here to negotiate the price and to be reliable in delivering and so on. No?
Yeah, agricultural commodities. Thank you for the presentation. Yeah, thank you, Magasa, for your input. So the question is, how do you build trust online with all the fake around us? Or yeah, they for sure. I think the trust is built, of course. How do you gain customers is, you know, if you have a community of existing customers that talk positively about you, and they talk positively on you, is it through a review, or if you post something, they are engaged. So it's not easy. I agree, because there's you know, there are other, we all have competitors. It's how do we differentiate? And I think it's by being consistent, maybe being consistent online, providing free information, knowledgeable information. And yeah, I don't know if that, Magasa, if it's of course it's a quite straightforward answer, but it's I think it's a process. You know, you have to start somewhere. Is it by posting information regularly? Is it on your post, on your website, providing, you know, creating a post regularly? Is it on LinkedIn? Is it a newsletter to your customers or prospects? And it's doing that regularly and providing value to customers. In the beginning, maybe free value, and then they will notice you. Any additional information? Any additional questions? Thank you very much. You know, this is the second time we're doing it, because we did it beginning of June. You know, this group was far more engaging, and I really appreciate your input. And so, Stefan, I don't know if you would like to round. If there's no additional questions, would you like to bring it close to today's webinar?
Yeah, of course, I'm happy to do so. I thank you, first of all, very much, for your support and for your lesson, let's say, in a masterclass in this sense, on how to reach out to customers online. It is the challenge of the future, especially for those who are, let's say, experts in sales, but also the point raised by Mr. Schaller, Achim Schaller from Frankfurt, regarding the training of the employees of the small medium-sized enterprises is exactly what we are trying to do. It's how we try to help you identifying the most urgent needs, the most highest priorities, the most fastest way to get information and training. Of course, let's say We don't offer training courses itself. We offer you, let's say, easy first step information and video tutorials and links where you can learn more. But then, of course, if you want to do something more structured, we have also our member companies that offer their online courses in different languages, in German, Italian, English. And we have also facilitators and coaches which can assist you directly in certain processes one-to-one. That is up to you then to choose them and to book them. We have discussed with them the purposes of our proposal, of our offer, and they agreed to stick to the quality standards, let's say, that we have discussed with them. Of course, we are always happy to get a feedback from you about the content. But I can only say, please sign up to the platform and go and look into the resources that we made available. Also, thanks to the guidance by Huvan, which accompanied this day together with us. Thank you very much to everybody, and yeah, enjoy your day and good weekend.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great day. Bye.